What does balance mean to you?
When you say balance, the first thing I think of is like a tightrope walker guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really high in the air. But I think I find myself mostly balanced when I'm as close to the ground as possible. I mean, metaphorically speaking.
Background.
I'm Brenda Sue, and I've been a hairdresser for years, which means I hear a lot of stories. In this podcast, my clients explore a single word in each episode, not the dictionary meaning, but what the word actually means to them. Real voices, real stories, one word at a time. Welcome to Clips and Conversation.
Last week, we talked about vulnerability, the courage it takes to be seen, and the risk of opening up. But staying open through life's ups and downs takes something else too. It takes balance. Today's guest word, balance. One of the places I learned the most about balance was in yoga. I thought balance meant holding perfectly still and not falling over. But the more I practiced, the more I realized my body was constantly adjusting. If I focused on not falling, I usually did. If I stayed present with my breath and made those small adjustments, I found my balance again. I wonder if that is true in life too. Could balance be less about standing still and more about learning how to adjust? Webster's defines balance as an even distribution of weight that enables someone or something to remain steady and upright, and also as stability produced by equilibrium. What does balance mean to you?
I think you have to take a look at your life and not be too extreme one way or the other, to be kind of in the middle. And I think off balance is real harmful to your whole mental being.
The synonym for balance for myself is moderation. I have to constantly remind myself of that balance, of that moderation. Do as much as you can when you can.
Give yourself grace.
Yes, and give myself the grace to know that some days I won't be able to do anything, but some days I'll be able to do more than others. It all balances out.
Balance to me is multi-dimensional. It includes the 4 pillars of wellness, your mental, your physical, your emotional, and spiritual well-being. And it also includes both the balance you have inside your soul, in your body, and the balance you have in your surroundings. It's like when one of your kids is struggling, don't you struggle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like we want to take their hurt away, which we can't. You try to protect them, which you can't.
Right.
But it does throw us out of balance when our kids are out of balance.
To me, balance is equality. Things are neither black nor white, but gray.
Once people put words to what balance meant, I was curious where they noticed it most.
In therapy.
That's good one.
Yeah.
Everyone could use that.
Oh, totally.
What does she taught you? How to do balance?
Through our neural pathways and the way they're set up. If we have one thought process, it makes our neural pathways wider. So we can't look at the big picture. And it's more about adjusting and finding a happy medium and not too heavy on the negative or too positive and sugarcoating things, but finding the facts and balancing from there. Like it's a practice that you have to do all the time. You can't like pick and choose, like a conscious effort.
Recently, it is because I'm going through some life changes. I'm going to be retiring and just trying to find what is important and what I need to weed out. Not only physical things, like when I remove stuff, it makes me feel more balanced, but also emotionally, how can I be the best me in my new surroundings?
And maintain yourself.
And maintain,
Yeah.
Yes. And not only retirement, but aging, being able to figure out what's right for me at age 60 is something different than what was right for me at age 25.
The first thing that comes to mind is just like physical balance, which is almost like a natural thing, right? You balance when I walk or when I stand. It's not something I have to concentrate on or think about. But then, like, when you're talking about the balance of, let's say, work and play, that's something you have to focus on. But it doesn't happen naturally, like when you stand up out of a chair. The challenge for me with my kids is a balance between intervening and helping out and letting them learn. Like most people, I'm too inclined to try to intervene, try to help out, try to catch them. The thing is, we're not always going to be there, and so they're going to have to learn anyway. Yeah. And it's much harder to learn those lessons when you're 40 and 50 than when you're 15 and 20. And I try to remember that too.
I got talked into coaching baseball and I'm having a hard time finding coaches. They're 8, 9-year-old kids that aren't real serious about baseball. After the first game, his mom comes up to me and says, I got to tell you something that Logan told me. He said, I really like our coach. He's respectably mean. He's mean enough to yell at us and make us listen, but he's not mean enough to make us cry. That is so.
That's a balance.
Yeah, I thought, oh, okay, well, I guess that's good. Yeah, that's a balance.
Yeah.
I think balance has a lot to do with how you spread things out through your life. Make sure that you take time for yourself. Balance in relationships is really good because my husband and I are completely opposites. He is an introvert and I'm an extrovert. And so he balances out my craziness and I balance out his quietness. He's not a very social person, but when we're together, it seems like we have friends and we have fun and we're good together because he's a calm to my chaos and I'm actually the positive to his negative.
With living in the now versus the future. You have plans and do you want to do them now or do you want to wait till the future? Like with money and things like that. You go on the trip now or do you save up the money for the bigger trips in the future?
The way your husband thinks and the way you think.
Yeah, and we definitely think differently. He's more of a now, live in the now, because there might not be a future, and I'm more of a let's think of the future balance type of thing.
We all have moments when we feel centered and moments when we don't. What makes balance difficult?
So for me, mine is a chemical imbalance. And that means I feel like if I don't take medication, that I'm either hot or cold. Like I get angry easy, I get sad easy, I get hot, I just quick emotions. And so I have to take medication to keep down an even filter. And it keeps me balanced.
The first thing that came to my mind was a seesaw. So it could be balanced where things are even on both sides, or it could be out of balance. Especially nowadays, though, in the way people perceive things, everybody wants to believe that their side is right, but they're not willing to look at the viewpoints of the other side.
It's very frustrating.
It's very frustrating. You're going to get mad at me because I don't believe in what you believe in. My problem with all of this stuff is do your own research. I mean, real research, not read a freaking book. I mean, look at the numbers, look at the stats, look what's going on. But again, just because somebody doesn't believe in the way you do does not mean that we're wrong and you're right.
When I read the word first, the first thing that came to my mind was, am I eating a balanced diet? When you start to get out of balance or feel overwhelmed, your body lets you know.
And they all carry stress in a different place.
Yeah.
What's yours?
In my neck and shoulders need to.
Acid in your body, like you're saying, if you don't slow down, it's going to make you slow down.
Yeah. Wondering if that's what causes some sicknesses or your body to contract sicknesses or not be able to fight germs is because you're out of balance.
Yeah, your immune system's down.
Yeah.
So you can, that's why some families, one person gets sick and nobody else does.
I don't think balance is possible. I think it's elusive. But I do think that there's a kind of a form of balance in that whatever is on fire is what you're going to give your attention to. So if something is pressing, let's say it's like a pay the bills day. So you're going to pay your bills because they gotta be paid. Or if you got to run kids around, whatever is your high priority item is going to be what gets the attention. If you're striving for balance, the trick would be to fit in
the most priorities you can without overdoing it. But the idea that you can do it all and be it all, I just don't think that's possible, at least not all at the same time.
Right.
I think you're going to be chasing a dream and constantly disappointed if you think you can be balanced in everything at all the time.
So do you think balance is a feeling?
I think it can be a feeling. I think a lot of people will associate balance with peace, like you're at peace with how you're spending your time or energy or efforts. But I don't think you have to be balanced to have peace, because you can be okay in that space. If you want to be happy, you have to learn how to be at peace or okay when things are out of balance.
How do you come back to center after feeling out of balance?
That's exactly why I'm in therapy right now. We're doing this thing in therapy called dialectical behavior, and it's understanding that two opposites can be right at the same time. The dog can be black and the dog can be white, right? You can be mad at your child and still excited for what they did.
And love them.
And still love them.
Maybe that's the whole thing, is feeling both emotions
Yes.
at the same time, and then that's balance.
Yes, and that is what we are working on.
We need balance in our life. Can't do it without the cane. If I don't have that cane, boy, I have to find it.
And I think that's a good metaphor of the leaning on somebody, or when you need help, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, there's a lot I can do, but there's a lot where I need help.
I don't know if I've had a good balance or not. When I was in a service, a lot of the time I would be gone. So the balance kind of tips sometimes. Is when you get home, it's sort of like, well, where do I fit? And you try to reorganize yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You try to calendar your finance, balance, lifestyle, where you have activities, keep yourself fit, stuff like that.
Just being able to manage your priorities and not tip the scale too far on certain things. I feel like listening to other people and what they have to say about certain things, I think that's a big help. Like, people I really respect their word.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I find I can ground myself a lot better if I'm actually touching the earth.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm touching trees and stuff like that. Helps me quite a bit.
Nature.
Weird. Yeah, being in nature.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I feel.
I think nature is very healing. Just going outside and seeing how everything works.
I try to find balance in everything I do, or I find it more hard to keep balance with everything the more I grow up. But yeah.
And I know, being your mom,
yeah,
like when you're not, we get to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Balance is an art. It's beautiful too.
Yeah. What is balance to you, Brenda?
I think of a pendulum swing, and I have highs and lows in my life. And when I'm in the middle, I think it's magic. Highs and lows, they come together.
So you find balance right in the middle.
Yep. Neutral is one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
Because that's where life has been the best for me. I don't get too worked up over this and too attached to this.
Yeah.
I actually learned it through yoga, like them teaching me to push and pull.
I think what it takes to have balance is to constantly be aware of your life. Sometimes it's someone else saying that things are out of balance. It could be, or your spouse. It could be a friend that you've neglected. But it's just constantly being aware of what's important.
Yeah.
When you can witness someone else's life get out of balance, but if you can realize like something needs to change, and it's like helping others to be able to get back in balance. Let me help you. Okay, I'm in a place where I noticed this, and let's talk it through. Let me help you. I need to be aware of who's important to me too. But balance is it often feels like it's unachievable. But I think it's just that constant awareness and intentionality with putting effort into it instead of just like riding the wave.
When you find your way back, what does balance feel like?
So, you see this concept of balance in nature. There's this term called homeostasis, where it's kind of like a thermostat. You establish a comfort zone or a place where you thrive the best. And a thermostat works where you have a temperature that you like that's most comfortable to you. And so if the temperature starts to go towards one of the extremes, whether it's hot or cold, either the air conditioning or the heat will click on and bring you back in. But, in our lives too, most of us do best somewhere in the middle. So I think in our lives, it's somewhere we can gravitate towards certain things, whether it's issues or lifestyles that I think you're going to be, if you have to focus on one aspect of your life, you're going to be taking from other aspects of your life. Like if you're just focused on your mental and you're just sitting at a desk studying and reading books all day, your physical and your social is going to suffer and you're going to start to feel that. So it's important to maintain balance in all of your aspects of your life. Just stay happy and healthy.
For me, it's more with spending time with family, all of them, because that fills me. So figuring that out is probably what's the hardest.
So is it a feeling you get when
Oh,
you
yeah.
are in balance?
Oh, yeah. It's just settling. I don't know if that is the right word. I just feel settled, balanced. It just works. I don't feel as worried or stressed about how everybody is doing when we have the opportunity to kind of be together. To me, that's where it's most important.
The feeling of having control of what feels good for my balance, not what somebody else says is good for theirs.
I think everyone's is completely different.
Yeah.
So what would be a synonym of that balance for you?
Well, for me, most of all is peace. What brings me the most peace in my day. And having 100 things to do a day is not peace for me. That doesn't feel like balance to me. Mm-hmm. And it's also the piece of having the balance between spending time with God and spending time with my own thoughts and having a good balance of being with people and having a long time. That's what makes a balance for me. And I can tell where it's at by the peace I feel within myself.
So what I've been recognizing is I went from such utter chaos and unregulated nervous system to kind of getting addicted to the peace and the silence. You need both the chaos and the peace. And one cannot exist without the other. Because one, like the opposition is what makes human existence. I am learning that to be able to balance the fun and the play and the chaos with moments of stillness and moments of peace is the sweet spot. I've noticed my mental health improve drastically since I started back up at the coffee shop. I was like, oh, I'm more fun and I have more energy. Yeah, I need both the zen and the fun and the excitement. It's coexisting. Yeah. That's what I try to teach my clients at the treatment center, that you can have coexisting emotions and that is perfectly normal. It's okay to feel grief and sadness and heartache at the same time as joy and hope and happiness. So.
The word balance needed to be replaced with the word harmony, because every part of our life, your family life, your spiritual life, your work life, your school life, all of those parts make up you. Sometimes your family needs way more of your time and attention than your job, or sometimes your job needs a lot more attention than your family, and you've got to be able to shift with those changes to keep harmony so that you feel the balance in your soul that's harmony.
After listening to everyone, I noticed balance isn't something we achieve once and then keep it forever. It's something we practice. For me, balance isn't about having every part of life divided equally or never feeling pulled in different directions. It's about noticing when I drift too far to one side and having the awareness to come back. One of the ways I know I'm finding that balance is when I can hold opposite emotions at the same time. I can feel fear and courage, gratitude and grief. I don't have to choose one and reject the other. I can see the whole spectrum. Maybe balance isn't stillness after all. Maybe it's the constant adjustment that brings us back into alignment with ourselves, with the people we love, and with the life we're living. Maybe that's where the magic is. Not at either extreme, but somewhere in the middle. One of the greatest balances we can find is learning to accept what is. That's where we're going next week. Acceptance.
Thank you for spending time with me. Stay curious, stay open, and keep the conversation going.